Okay, let's continue further. Now that all of us have got a brief idea about how the if works, how if else works, now let's try to deal with relatively more complicated programs in order to make us feel a little more confident over the usage of if and if else. Let's check out the next program. Okay, whenever the programs are assigned to you, the first important thing that needs to be done is you need to have a clear picture of what exactly the program is demanding out of you. It's just like, the doctor misreading the patient. Okay, so giving the wrong pill, it's a dangerous practice. So something similar, we are almost like doctors, right? So programmers, the customers, they approach the customer, the programmers of their needs and the requirements based on which we gave them the solution in the form of softwares or programs. So it's so important to read the question properly. The question says, accept 3 integers and print the largest of the 3. But there is a restriction. You have to make use of only if statement. So you're not supposed to use if else. Alright? So let's check out the program. Now before I write the program, I want to convey you the logic, how the program will be implemented. It's something like this. Now let's say there are 3 students and I want to have the strongest, amongst 3 in a box, in a cabinet or in a box, right? There are 3 students, Tenzin, Tashi and Tserin. The logic is, the first is Tenzin, Tashi and then Tserin. The strongest will ultimately be in the box. So what do I do is, I call upon Tenzin. Since Tenzin is the first student, I presume him as the strongest. I put him in the box. And then I call upon Tashi. I make them fight. Whoever is stronger remains in the box. Say Tashi, is stronger than Tenzin. So Tashi remains in the box. Again, Tserin comes on, right? And then Tserin fights with the Tashi, right? So whoever is stronger stays in the box or the cabinet. Right? So something similar to this, I would like to implement the program. Let's say I have 3 values, A, B, C. Remember, this is the multiple initialization, and I have 3, 5, and then 4. Say the value of A is 3, the value of B is 5, and the value of C is 4. And I want to write a program which will print the largest number amongst these 3, right? So it's going to be like this. I have, now max is a keyword, so let's not use it. Let's say I have a variable called max in which I assign A. So I consider A as the maximum value amongst 3 to start with. In a class, if there is only 1 student, that student will be the topper. That student will be, the last in the class. Okay. So likewise, let's say if I just have A and I assign the value of A to max, and then I now move on to the next variable of B. If B is greater than, max. If the value of B is greater than max, what do you have in max? The value of A. If the value of B is greater than max, then what I do is I have colon here. In max, I assign the value of B, right? I hope you're clear with this. Initially, you have A in max, assuming that A is the largest of 3 number. And then I now check the value of B. If the value of B is greater than max, B should get into max. A should be out of max, B should get into the max. Alright? So if the condition is true, this statement should be executed. So I'm just trying to implement if to test the largest number of 3. And then come here. I don't have any more statements of f, so press backspace to come to the extreme left. Next up is I have if c is greater than max. Okay, I'm done with the a and b. I now need to shift my focus to the c. So if c value is greater than max, then what I do is in max I should have the value of c, right? And then I print a message like the largest. Make sure that you have the pair of single quote. The largest of 3 numbers is, alright, and then I write here max. Okay, like this. Now let's run the program and check. Okay, the largest of 3 numbers is 5. I get the correct answer. Let's say I'll just change a little bit and then try to run it. You know, the largest number is 4, right? So we'll try to understand the program. The value of a is 3. 3 will be assigned to max. A is 3, b is 2, c is 4. Okay? And then initially I assign a to max, which means in max I have the value of 3. Okay, in max I have the value of 3. The value of b is how much? 2. 2 is greater than max. 2 is greater than 3. Is the condition true? The condition is false, which means this will not be executed. If this doesn't get executed, the b value of 2 will not replace the value of max. So in max, I'll still have the value of a, which is 3. And then I now check the next condition. The value of c is 4. 4 greater than max. In max, I have the value of 3. 4 is greater than 3, the condition becomes true. If the condition is true, as per the rule, this statement has to be executed. So the value of c, which is 4, is assigned to max. So at the end of the program, when you print the largest number, largest of the 3 numbers, the value of max would be 4. Let's come up with another combination. Let's say I have here 5 and then run the program. Now we'll do this real quick. The value of a is how much? 3. Alright, so 3 gets into max. B is 5. 5 greater than max. 5 greater than 3, the condition is true. 5 will get into max. 4 is it greater than 5, the condition becomes false. So this will not be executed. So the 5 still remains in max. However, if you have a combination like this, 6 will be assigned to max, but the value of b, which is 5, the value of c, which is 4, neither of these two are greater than max. So which means the a being 6 will be retained in the max. So when you run this, you should get the answer as 6. The largest of the 3 numbers is 6. Okay? So I hope you understood how to write this program. Now let's move on to the next program. Okay, what do we have here? Okay, accept 3 integers and calculate 2 sums. S1 is sum of all 3 integers. This is straightforward. However, S2 is sum of non-duplicate integers. Non-duplicate integers means if I have numbers like this, okay, then I have to, all 3 numbers are non-duplicate, right? But however, if I have something like this, I have 2 repeating twice. Okay, so non-duplicate means these are duplicate items. So I should get the second sum as just 1. The first sum is just the plain sum of all 3 numbers, regardless of them being duplicate or non-duplicate. Sum of all 3 integers, S1. However, S2 should have the sum of non-duplicate numbers, right? So in this particular combination, S1 value will be 1 plus 2 plus 2, which will be 5. S2 sum of non-duplicate numbers, since 2 appears twice, so these 2 numbers are duplicate numbers, right? So the value of S2 should be just 1. However, if I have like this, the value of S1 should be 3, the value of S2 should be 0. Because I have duplicate numbers, right? 1 repeating twice. So the logic of the program is, again, we need to check whether the first number is equal to the second number. First number, check whether it's equal to the third number. If it's equal, okay, if it's equal, then I should not add it. I should not consider the numbers for addition. Alright, so we'll do this. Now let's say again I have A, B, C equal 1, 2, and then let's say I have 2. Right? So at the end of the program execution, I should have something like, I should have the output of S1 as 1 plus 2 plus 2, 5, and then S2 as sum of non-duplicate integers. Right? So non-duplicate integers means, I should get the value of S2 as just 1. I hope you got the question correct. Okay, now let's start the program. Now this time, again I'll be using just the F, alright? Now let's say this is simple and straight. A plus B plus C. Okay, so in S1 I have the sum of all three numbers. Now for the S2, I need to check whether the first number is equal to or not equal to. If it's not equal to, then I need to add it. Then I indeed have to add the numbers, right? So initially I'll have S2 is equal to 0, okay? And then I check if A is not equal to, the exclamation mark means not. It's a shorthand symbol for not operator. If it's not equal to B, and if A is not equal to C, okay? So what do you mean by this? If A is not equal to B, if A is not equal to C, can I say A is non-duplicate number? Alright? So if A is not equal to B, if A is not equal to C, then A is a non-duplicate number. Which means I have to add A to S2. So if the condition is true, look at this. If the overall condition is true, what is the meaning? If the overall condition is true, both the conditions need to be true. Look at the first condition, A is not equal to B. Okay? If A is not equal to B, A is a non-duplicate element. If A is not equal to C, it's again a total non-duplicate element, right? So if the condition is true, then in S2, I have S2 plus A. Okay? So likewise, you have to do the same thing for B and C. I'm done with the comparison of A with B and with C to check whether A is non-duplicate or duplicate, right? Now it's the turn of B. If B is not equal to A and B is not equal to C, so which means B is non-duplicate number. Okay? If it's non-duplicate number, then I have to add it to S2, right? And then you have B. Like this, right? Oops, what happened? Okay. And then finally, if C is not equal to A and C is not equal to A, then C is the non-duplicate number. If the condition is true, then I add C to S2, right? Now let's say, so we are done with the program. Okay, let me first check whether the program runs correctly. If it runs correctly, then we'll start with the explanation. So print sum of all three numbers, right? The variable is S1, right? And then print sum of non-duplicate numbers is equal to S2. So we'll check whether the program runs correctly or not. Let's just get this. Okay, now when I run this, let's see. Okay, what do you have here? Okay, I've made a mistake here. A is not equal to B. If B is not equal to A, okay, I've made one mistake here. C is not equal to B, right? Okay. Now if I run the program, I should get the correct output. Okay, there you go. I hope you're able to see the right answer as 1. Okay, since you have 2 duplicate numbers, these 2 duplicate numbers should not be considered for S2. Okay, so the sum of non-duplicate numbers should be 1. Now let's check and try to understand the logic behind this program. Okay, you have the value of A as 1, B as 2, and C as 2. So 1 plus 2 plus 2, you have the S1 answer as 5. So sum of all 3 numbers S1 is 5. This is simple. In S2, you have the initial value as 0. This is important. You need to have 0 to S2. So the value of A is 1, okay, and the value of B is 2. A is not equal to B. 1 is not equal to 2. The condition is true. And then 1, the value of A is again 1, the value of C is 2. 1 is not equal to C. 1 is not equal to 2, the condition is true. So if both the conditions are true, which means A, whose value is 1, is indeed a non-duplicate number. So if the overall condition is true, this statement should be executed. This statement should be executed, right? So in S2, I have the value of 0 because I have to create the variable. If I do not have this, the Python will report an error. What exactly is this S2? The Python will not be able to recognize. So remember, we have learned something about dynamic typing. The values are created at the time of assigning the values. Okay, so the moment you assign 0 to S2, S2 becomes integer. So S2 is 0, 0 plus A is 1, you will get the answer as 1. 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 becomes the value of S2. So till this point, the value of S2 is how much? It's 1. Check for B. B. Now comes, the second if. The value of B is how much? It's 2. 2 is not equal to A. Okay, the value of A is how much? 1. So 2 is not equal to 1, the condition is true. However, look at this. B value is 2, C value is 2. 2 is not equal to 2. The condition becomes false. True and false will be false. Remember, in the AND operator, all conditions need to be true for the overall conditions to be true. So you have true here, but false here. So which means the overall condition will be false. So will this be executed? The answer is no. Hence, B, since from this condition we figured out that B is indeed a duplicate element, B will not be added to C. So this is how B value 2 is left out from taking part in the addition in S2. Now check this. Okay, you need to take a little more time to get used to. So once you get used to, then things become really simplified. Now let's check for the C. C is not equal to A. C is how much? 2. A is 1. 2 is not equal to 1. Condition is true. However, C is not equal to B. C is 2. B is 2. The condition becomes false. True and false, the result will be false. So this will not be executed, which means C is a duplicate number. You can figure out from this condition, right? So this condition overall condition becomes false. So this statement will not be executed. So C2 will not take part in the S2. So at the end, only this condition becomes true. In S2, I have the answer as 1. So likewise, if I have something like this, say 2? Any guesses? The answer will be 0. Okay, it should be 0, right? So when you check this condition will be false. This will not be executed. This will be also false. Statement will not be executed. This will again be false. This statement will not get executed. So the value of S2 will remain as 0. And it should remain as 0 because you have 3 duplicate numbers, right? However, if you have something like if you have something like 2, 3, 4, okay, look at this, 2, 3, 4, in which case both the answers will be the same, okay? A is not equal to B, all 3 numbers are different from each other. So this condition will be true. A is not equal to B, it's true. A is not equal to C, it's true. So this will be true. A2 will be added to S2. B is not equal to A, which is true. B is not equal to C. All 3 numbers are different from each other. So which means all 3 conditions will become true. So when the first if becomes true, 2 will be added. 2 plus 0 will be 2. Okay, so this condition is true. S2 value is 2. Remember, from here, 2 plus 3 will be 5. 5 becomes the new value of S2. 5 becomes the new value of S2. Again, this condition will be true. 5 plus 4 will be 9. So 9 becomes the latest value of the program of S2. So this is how you deal with the program number 2. Now finally, we'll come up with a very simple program, okay, which will help us to deal with the if-else, okay. Now display a menu for calculating area of a circle or perimeter of a circle, right? So this should be pretty simple. So when you say perimeter, you're referring to the circumference of a circle, right? So first things first, we'll print, the choice. Print, and then number 1 for calculating area of a circle, right? And then now this is some kind of menu. Number 2 will be perimeter or circumference, right, of a circle, right? Okay, in a circle, if you want to find the area and the perimeter, you need the radius. You have the formula of pi r squared to calculate the area of a circle, and then 2 pi r for the circumference or the perimeter of the circle, right? But just in case in exam, if you do not know the formula will be given. For us, we are not directly concerned with the mathematics, right? Our primary concern is to write program, okay? So the formulas, should be available to us. Okay, and then first things first, we'll try to receive the radius, okay? Oh, now before that, why not receive the choice? So ch equals, and then enter the choice. Okay, enter the choice. Oh, where is this input? Okay, int, and then you have the input, right? Okay, so once you are decided with the choice, if the choice is this, if the choice is that. Okay, once you have the choice, now it's time for the radius, right? So radius rad is equal to, we'll use the float, right? Since the value of pi is 3.1415, I better have the radius in the fractional values. So input and then enter the radius, okay, of a circle. Okay, I now have the choice, I now have the radius. So this is a very simple program which will help us to understand the usage of if-else. So over here, we need to check for the choice. If the choice is equal to 1, then we need to print the area of a circle. If the choice is equal to 2, then we need to find the perimeter of a circle, right? So let's write the statement for the choice. If ch is equal to 1, right? If the choice entered is equal to 1, then I calculate the area, right? Area is equal to pi r squared, right? So it's 3.14 multiplied by RAD, pi r squared, right? So, okay, you can have radius multiplied by radius itself, so pi r squared, right? So make sure that the variable matches with the one which you have used it to accept, the radius of the circle, right? And then I'll just print the message. Area of a circle is, okay, and then you have the variable of area, right? However, I just use here else. Now, since I just have only two options, I could afford to use if else. Just look at the menu. In the menu, there are two choices. If it's 1, you have to find the area of a circle. If it's not, it has to refer to the second option, since there are just two. If not 1, then obviously you are referring to the second choice, right? So hence I could use one if else to take care of the two choices. In days to come, we may have more number of choices, in which case we cannot afford to have just one if else to take care of 3 or more than 3 choices. But as of now, one if else is enough to take care of 2 choices. Else, if it's not 1, then it has to be the statement associated with else. I'll just come up. Okay, else Peri is equal to 2 pi r, right? So it will be 2 multiplied by 3.14 multiplied by RAD. And then I'll print the perimeter of a circle is, okay, PERI, right? So that's it, I guess. So we'll just try to run the program and then get on with the explanation. Okay, so just run this. Oh, there is a problem. The problem is I've missed out on the bracket. Now when you do the program during the lab classes, you will come across many errors. So you should know how to fix it as well, right? So just run the program. Now let's say, look at this, I get to see 1 for the area of a circle and 2 for the perimeter of a circle. Now this is for the user. Now let's say I want to calculate the area of a circle. So I have to enter the choice first. I enter 1, right? And then I'm being asked to enter the radius of circle. Let's say I enter 2. And then I get the message of area of a circle is 12.6, alright? So how does it work is I entered the value of 1, okay? Since I want to go for the area of a circle, I entered 1, remember? So 1 becomes the value of CH. And then for the radius of the circle, I entered 2. So 2.0 will become the value of rad. So the program checks the value of CH. The value of CH being 1. 1 is equal to 1, the condition becomes true. When the condition becomes true, what happens? These two statements will be executed. Just look at the way the indentation are used for these two statements. They have the same level of indentation, right? So these two statements become the statements associated of f, or in other words, you could say these two statements are the body of this f. So CH value, which is 1, is equal to 1, and then it evaluates this formula to check to find out the area of a circle. 3.14 multiplied by rad to the rad, pi r squared. 12.56 will be assigned to area, and then area of a circle is 12.56. So if this condition is true, these two statements will be executed. These two statements will not be executed, right? Now let's say I run the program once more. I say run, and then I say 2 this time. Okay, I entered the choice of 2, and then let's say the radius is 3. I'll get the message of perimeter of a circle is 18.84. Now this time for CH I entered 2. Okay, so 2 becomes the value of CH, and 3 becomes the value of radius. CH value is 2. 2 is equal to 1. The condition becomes false. If it is false, then these two statements are skipped or not executed. If the condition is false, the statements associated with the else will be executed, right? So this is how it comes here. This arithmetic expression will be evaluated, which should give us the answer of 18.84, which will be assigned to variable. Perimeter of a circle is 18.84, right? So all in all, you from today's class, you should be able to understand the 3 programming constructs. The first one is sequence, the second one is selection, and then you have the iterative. Selection, you could actually call it as decision construct as well, because based on a decision, based on a result of a test or a condition, a certain action is followed. If it's not true, another course of action is followed. So you have a kind of decision making here. So you call it selection construct or you call it decision construct, it means the same thing. And then how do you implement the selection construct or decision construct? You have the if statement and then the extension of if, which is if else. Both are conditional statements, both are based on a condition, right? So with this, I would like to wind up, and then for the next class, I would like to continue further. There are some more variation with regard to the conditional statements. Until then, take care and thank you.